What's happening with it, y'all, man? It's your boy Gabe. As always, I'm glad that y'all could join me. I know a lot of people been asking for the pet DPS, and is it viable? Is it good? Is it meta? I'm telling y'all right now, it's far from meta. Is it viable? Yes, it is definitely viable, but it does have some drawbacks that's keeping it from being the potential I want to say that it could possibly be. So let's start off with the pros of it. The pros of it is you could do it. It's very minimal with skill level, especially now with the double bars that's allowing you to put the pet to the back of your build. Before you used to sacrifice power slots to put everything that you needed to make this work. So right off the bat, y'all, what does make this work okay is the fact that it works as dots, basically, meaning that no matter what, you're going to have your pet do DPSing. At times where other people is not able to do DPSing because of mechanics, your pet is always going to be doing DPS. So, like you see right now, I have the Fury as well as the Quizlet. Right now, they always gonna be doing DPS. And say I'm running, I'm doing mechanics, I'm blocking, doing whatever. Look, they're still gonna be doing DPS. That's kind of dope. I know that's going to help a lot of novice players that don't know some of the mechanics for fights. So that's a real big huge bonus to it. Now let's get to the drawbacks because we got quite a few drawbacks that's makes this just a little disappointing right now. So let's start off with the allies. Right now, this game is in a might supercharged meta, meaning you're trying to stack as much might as you could possibly get, and you want to get your supercharge back repeatedly, really, really quickly. So to do that, people are running Walk It Off, which is the flash, meaning when you use a supercharge, you're gonna get a ton of supercharge back. And then they stack them on top with static, which allows you to get bonuses to your crit when you use a supercharge. You pair that with really high supercharge gain and scrap and EOG, and you have a meta where basically it's just a race to see who could get off EOG fastest. So the problem with that is Sorcery doesn't have, I won't even just say sorcery, but pet DPS doesn't have anything that complements a supercharge that helps the pets. I've been an advocate for saying that God Wave should have been something similar to a supercharge, meaning your pet have X amount of damage, bonus damage for like a duration of 15 seconds. Your pet do 150% more damage, which would be huge because then you have something that coincides with like a berserk. Uh circuit breaker, something like that. We don't have that. As well as you don't have the best, I want to say, allies at all for it. So right off the bat, as y'all could tell, if you had John Constantine, you'd run John right off the bat, best ally on the game. You'd run that as your signature ability. It's gonna give you a buff, the whole group a buff. Does decent damage, not bad at all. You're gonna have to run flash with this. Of course, you still use the walk it off. Even though we don't have a supercharge that necessarily complements the damage we're gonna be doing. And then you're gonna be running arcane battery. So now this is one of the biggest flaws that it has. So you have to use 6 powers in a row, and then once you do that, at max it's gonna give your pets 10% more damage, and it's gonna be active for 14 seconds. Well, I have to use 6 powers in a row, right? The problem with sorcery is my rotation requires me to prioritize using God Wave Strength as well as Fortify or whatever power regen that you're using for your class. And those two do not count towards Arcane Battery buff. So if I'm using those that don't coincide with it, meaning I don't have 100% maintain time for Arcane Battery, I mean it's not up all the time. That sucks because you need it around, especially when you have God Wave Strength active. There's going to be moments where it's not, which really takes away when you account for, say, you run in Starfire, which means when Starfire is up, you have 100% uptime of Tamaranian Technique, which is a massive, massive, massive buff of 8% might 24/7. There's all you have to do is use a weapon buff and you maintain that. So if we go to the back bar, I have something that um I use the weapon buff, but I'm not using it because I'm getting the buff from Starfire because we're not running it. I'm using it as a clip. I use it to clip two abilities. So say if you're in combat and your pet die, you're gonna notice if you're trying to use your pet and you getting attacked by some stuff, it could kill a pet, and that's a huge DPS loss. Whereas opposed to say if I call out the Fury and then I instantly clip it with the weapon buff, it comes out instantly. There's no risk for me losing the Fury, and I could call it out and call it back instantly, really, really quick. Another reason is because I use it to clip Spore Pod. It makes it a really easy clip. That simple. Bam, the damage gonna pop. You don't even really see it being done. Really, really quick, easy clip. With this loadout, I do like running the magma vortex. It's a really quick animation, which means like so now we get to another flaw that pet DPS has. Your pet won't automatically just start attacking stuff. So say if I'm working towards a few different stuff. Sorry, y'all, I had to mute that stuff, trying to keep it quiet while I do this video. So say if I'm working towards hauls, ads, and stuff like that, we're gonna call back the Fury real quick just so I could give y'all a good example of how this look before we start going into the rotation. But we're gonna get out of combat. We're gonna call the Fury back. Say we running towards ads. Now remember, DPS is all about how quick you is to getting through your rotation as well as getting to ads and stuff. So we get to it. Bam. The first thing now again, my DPS is not the same as a traditional might DPS because I'm not running trans, I'm not running um the other artifacts that build towards how much might DPS I'm doing. My damage predominantly isn't coming from my might DPS. So already off the bat I'm losing. So say if you running a full might build and you use Spore Pod, you're going to be doing more damage with your Spore Pod than I'm doing with mine. And then after that, I have to wait until my pets start attacking. So that's the delay. Right now, I'm already behind you with just the speed in which you do your damage. So pets definitely need to be sped up. There's oftentimes where Fury Crystal don't do anything for periods of time, and that's super detrimental to your DPSing. So we're gonna call Fury back one more time, and now let's talk about actual augments that I'm running and stuff like that. So right off the bat, you go to the artifacts that I'm running, and I'm running Sword Shard. As you can tell, it's not 200. I'm being cheap right now. I have the mats to do it. I just don't feel like putting in the last 20,000, 12,000 experience needed to get it to 200. So all that's gonna do is gonna go from two pets being active with Godway Strength, which when you activate Godway Strength, it grants 200% increased damage for 5 seconds. So it goes from where I have it right now, which is two pets, all the way up to three pets, which is huge. You have to have that. Not even gonna lie to you, that's mandatory. Mercy is mandatory. That is huge. It gives Mercy attack protocol. It makes your pet attack faster, hit hard, and apply its PI. When you summon your pet, it's gonna do a reactive field, which is gonna do a nice burst damage when it comes out. And when you get healed, this is huge to keep your pet staying alive. When you get a heal, your pet gonna get 50% of that heal, which is huge. I mean, this is one of my favorite artifacts on the game. It's pretty straightforward. You don't want to run Quizlet. Quizlet you don't want at 160 because at that level it's going to give you Refractal Beam, which when you use a 5,000 supercharge is going to allow you to do medium damage towards multiple enemies. And if you was to be using a 10,000 cost supercharge, you'll do a high damage attack to your primary target. That's single target. Next up, these two that you cannot replace out of this, which is EOG as well as Scrap. Now again, the big problem with this is I do not have a supercharge that benefits pets. So that's a huge one. I think that's the quickest fix right off the bat towards working towards a better, a better system for pets. So what's really important is what you're running. I'm running Mother Box from my trinket. That is the strongest one on the game. It's tier 3 pet. I'm running Elite Uplink device, and I'm currently running the Environmental Tech Trinket. I just like the heal that it does. It's not the best one for damage. And then other than that, you'll run your DPS Trinket. So how it will really go is a very, very simple rotation. So let's go over to my rotation. You'll see that I'm running on my back bar first. My back bar running Spore Pod with Weapons of Destiny. I clip those together. Summon Fury. For supercharges, I have Clown Box, Neo Venom, and Trance. On the front bar, I'm running Scandalating Blast. That's my spammable that allows me to get off God Wave Strength quickly. I'm running Nemesis Lasso just for ads. That's if you're not running that, you snoozing. Mercy's attack protocol. That's how I give my pets power back. Without that power, your pets won't be able to do high damage. That allows them to do their signature attack. That does, a lot of damage. Magma Vortex and Bat Swarm. So it's a really, really easy rotation. I'm gonna call out my Fury. I'm gonna do a tap and then I'm gonna clip those two together, Magma Vortex, and then I'm just going to spam this like this until I get God Wave Strength back up. If I don't get it back up in time, go up with Attack Protocol. Real simple. Switch to the back bar, Clown Box, and it's that easy, y'all. You're just gonna rotate that, repeatedly. It's a really, really easy rotation. Remember, priority of God Wave Strength that goes up before anything. Remember, always clip Spore Pod with your weapon buff, and it's a really, really easy rotation. I try my best to line up God Wave Strength with Attack Protocol because Attack Protocol makes it does the signature attack when paired with God Wave Strength. It does a crap ton of damage. So remember, it's all time. You see, I'm not using it yet. I'm trying to let it come close together. Now he gonna use his big attacks. Bam, that was a 260,000 he just did. And you just repeat that. It's so easy, y'all. Like it is such an easy rotation. And you just keep doing that repeatedly. So as y'all can see, if y'all look under me, that's gonna be a really good example for Arcane battery. I'll show you how that works. So we're gonna come back here for a second and y'all gonna see I'm going to just use um 6 abilities. On the fifth one, y'all gonna see a animation come under my character. So let's see. Bam, now y'all see it. I use it one more time. That same white animation going to Fury. And now Fury is doing 10% more damage from Arcane Battery at max rank. So the sad part about that is, as I was telling y'all, so say, yeah, I'm gonna do it one more time. So that's 2, 3, 4, and then the fifth one, you're gonna have a white lines under me. I use one more that transfers it to Fury. Now he's doing a bonus damage from the ally that I'm running with the Zantana ally. Now the problem with that is, say if I'm using a traditional, rotation. So you see now there's 4 abilities right here. You see it's still not coming up, still not coming up, still not coming up. Because those 2 abilities do not count towards it, which means I cannot maintain 100% uptime for it. And that's sad and disappointing, but it is what it is. So a drawback. I know it's gonna come in the comments, Gabe, why are you not running Grand Summoning? The truth behind it is Grand Summoning does not work very well with pet DPSing at all, because what it does is summons 3 pets. It summons Grand Watcher, Fury, and Guardian. Well, the sad part is Sorcery can only extend at max level at 200 to 3 pets. You could kind of guess all 3 pets not getting it if you have the Grand Summoning, Grand Watcher, Grand Fury, which well as your basic Fury, Quizlet, as well as your um Trinket Pet, which does massive damage. So again, I didn't show this one. I wanted y'all to kind of see this, how much damage the Trinket Pet does when it has Surf Shard on it. So I'll call back Fury, and y'all now y'all could just see like the massive, massive damage that the Trinket Pet does. So you need a very strong Trinket Pet. That's gonna be key to your DPSing. It Mother Box does ridiculous damage with God Wave Strength. Y'all seeing 100 and 180 for the blast when I have it powered with God Wave Strength. Let's do it one more time. Crazy damage right there. So guys, if y'all have any questions in the comment section below, please let me know. Do I recommend pet DPS? And if you're trying to be a meta DPS, no, I do not. Right now, it's just not where it's at. Mainly because of the supercharge issues. It does not have a supercharge that benefits pet DPSing. Sadly, the Brian Hawk is not very strong at all. I was kind of disappointed because I do believe that it would be pretty cool. If y'all been doing the Raging Mogo content, one of the supercharges you see, one of the abilities that you see used often by the lantern users is the gorilla supercharge. It's like a green gorilla. Man, if they could turn that into something like that way, you send out a pet and the pet stays out for like 15-20 seconds, and then you could stack that with god wave strength, it would do pretty crazy damage. That would be the way to go. But that's going to be for another video. As always, y'all, I hope y'all enjoy this content. Sub to the channel if you like this type of stuff. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. Until the next video, y'all be cool.